ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You seen what he did on Facebook, right? Listen, I'm gonna make a motherfucking emoji like this, look.
Gennady Productions.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
All the guys want. I want what Mayweather got. I want what Mayweather got. You done bust your ass like Mayweather.
It was ball. No fight. My life has always been a fight.
I sacrificed a lot to get to where I got to.
You don't think you're being overly critical to a guy that took a body shot and didn't go down?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice, where we are always overly critical. And this time we're going to dissect an interview that was done with Oscar De La Hoya live on ESPN's First Take in front of millions with Stephen A. Smith. Credit to Stephen A. Smith for such a great job, as well as Max Kellerman for really putting the pressure to Oscar De La Hoya and see if we can't finally get some good old answers to whether or not Canelo will be facing Gennady Golovkin September 2017. Well, before we get into all that, let me introduce my co-host. Boxing MD, what's going on, brother? I know you want to sit in on this. We're going to head on over to the Sunshine State. Boxing MD, what's going on?
Is that a fair statement to make? You have to be honest with yourself. You know, people are going to wonder if we're being VADA tested because the amount of endurance that we have today with the topics we're putting out, like, we might be on some shit, right?
Definitely, man. We might be like Povetkin. Oops, did I say that? Listen, we just love boxing around here. And when the news breaks, we get enthusiastic. You know, we want to bring you guys all the latest and kind of summarize it for you so that you don't have to go out there into the wild searching for yourself. Instead, TBV gathers all the information, puts it to you on audio and video form, and gives it to you the way that you need. So without any further ado, let's give you exactly what it is that we're here for, and we'll give you those information. We'll give you that information as you watch it along with us. And I mean, you know, we will dissect it.
Triple G obviously is a legit middleweight, and we know that Canelo's on the come up. Triple G's whole thing is that, you know, I shouldn't have to lose weight, you know, go from 160 to 155 or whatever the case may be. If this guy is walking around calling himself a middleweight champion, that's one point. And if Canelo is
you never made catch weights, Oscar. You never made catch weights. You fought.
But check it out. But check it out, Max. Oscar, if Canelo is so ready, why have your last two fights been against Amir Khan and Liam Smith? Are you kidding me? That's what y'all. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, look, Canelo truly is a 54-pounder. I mean,
yeah, we believe you, Oscar. Before we go any further, MD, I just want to credit Stephen A. Smith for obviously bringing to question the resume. Canelo Alvarez taking on Amir Khan, who was a welterweight and we all knew moved up from 135 pounds. Liam Smith, relatively unknown. At least he was a junior middleweight. But were you expecting this? What was your immediate reaction when you got to this part of the video and it was like, oh shit, they're really going in on Oscar?
Yeah, I mean, it's what he said. I love Stephen A. Smith because he can make something, you know, that reporters say all the time, but with his affectation and his voice, you know, it's like, you know, whatever he says, it's like accusatory or pejorative. But these are legitimate gripes that he has with Oscar De La Hoya because, you know, he's bringing up Amir Khan from welterweight, and Liam Smith is not at the same level as these other guys. So I like the fact that Stephen A. Smith knows that, and he's letting the public know that as well. Now, and I also mentioned to you before that, although ESPN's ratings, you know, I don't know, I'm not an expert at that, but supposedly they haven't been doing as well. But the fact is that this is one of the biggest shows on ESPN, and both guys, although a lot of people don't think Stephen A. Smith knows boxing, I at least credit him for trying to understand, are big boxing fans. So this is a great thing for boxing. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the hipsters that say he doesn't know or, want to be extremely critical about what he is doing, but at least he's bringing up boxing on a platform that doesn't normally have it. So,
exactly. And before we continue, you guys please hit thumbs. And it's just the least we could ask and you guys could do for more great content.
Very true. Very true. All the hard work putting in around here. We just ask a little thumbs up, sharing of the show on your social media. That will obviously increase the visibility of the show. I say we get back to the tape. See what Oscar had to say.
Let's continue.
He can make the weight with no problem. And Canelo and I and the team has decided that for 2017, he will move up to middleweight, full-fledged middleweight, and fight the middleweight champions of the world. And that's including Triple G.
Now, when he first said full-fledged middleweight, I know you had to be taken back, or were you doing your, Andrew Dice Clay, like, yeah, you're fucking right.
Yeah, it's such an open term. It's like he will move up to middleweight or full-fledged middleweight, right? And I don't want to spoil the rest of the interview, but Max Kellerman does a great job by pressing that question because that's a big issue because like Stephen A. Smith said, it's like you're walking around like you're the middleweight champion, right? And you should be fighting at that full-fledged weight. And, Oscar De La Hoya, Max Kellerman was right by throwing in that little quip because Oscar De La Hoya never fought at a middleweight. But it's different because it seems like how Oscar De La Hoya is treating Canelo is more like a child, right? So it's almost like a lot of times people, they say I've done this as a person, and since I've done this as a person, I don't want you to do it as a child because, I'm protecting you as a father figure or a mother figure or an uncle or whatever. So, I see both sides of it, I guess.
I wouldn't say he's protecting him as a child. I would say he's protecting him more as a commodity, a business. But let's see what Oscar had to say.
Well, money,
At 160, that's it.
I wanted to make sure that we ended this segment with you promising boxing fans we will see Triple G versus Canelo Alvarez in 2017. Do I have your word on that, sir?
You have my word, and Canelo is not afraid of Triple G. September, we're hoping he signs the contract, and it will happen.
So, MD, do you believe the promise that Oscar De La Hoya is making to us, the boxing fans?
Well, before we talk about the promise, again, Max Kellerman followed up and goes at 160 to specify. And that was a great question because it gave him no wiggle room to say he will be fighting at middleweight. So great question, Max Kellerman. You should hit the Mario coins for that one. Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, but do I believe the promise? I hope I believe it. No, I wouldn't believe it per se, because he even left at the end saying hopefully he signs the paperwork. Like whatever that means, right? So it's like they could offer him something ridiculous and they could deny it, or maybe something happen. It's just so open-ended. But I will give Oscar De La Hoya credit for going on camera and at least asking these tough questions because these weren't easy questions to being on national television. So. It's at least sometimes it takes a media outlet like this to keep pushing an issue for finally the fights happening. And you mentioned to me earlier that you wish Stephen A. Smith would have been harder on a certain other fighters, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if he's gonna complain about Canelo fighting Amir Khan and Liam Smith, then he should have complained all those times he was chummy with Mayweather. But that's the past. Canelo's the new Mayweather of this generation, and he's got to receive that criticism. And credit to Stephen A. Smith for doing a really good job. Obviously, now there is a timeline. February, Canelo should be back versus an unnamed opponent to test the thumb on the hand that was injured during the Liam Smith fight, and then some big news that we'll be talking about 7 p.m. Eastern time here on the Boxing Voice.
Join us every Thursday and Sunday live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Looks like Canelo is possibly going to be scheduling a pay-per-view for May 6th And you won't want to miss when we tell you who's going to be the opponent. Remember, come back around 7 p.m. Eastern time. Listen, Boxing MD, if you don't have anything else on this first take interview where they did a marvelous job, Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith, pressing De La Hoya, finding out the details, letting us know that Canelo will finally have to fight at a true 160-pound weight. I mean, if you don't have anything else, let's open up these phone lines.
Let's open these phone lines.
All right, we're going to go out to, oh, look who's back for a double dosage.
I told y'all a long time ago, the Kirkland will go down 3 rounds.
Right hand. Down goes Kirkland. Strap me up. Who's next? I got milk, baby.
Yeah, I'm back. It would have been my 3rd dose, but I was in queue last time, and then the audio just went dark on me, man. What happened?
Man, you guys breaking the internet over here with all the calls we're getting for these immediate reaction shows. But you're live now. Might as well take advantage.
Okay. All right, real quick, I dig that Oscar went on television to at least discuss the fight. The problem is that Oscar isn't in position to make those kinds of promises for the simple fact he doesn't promote Golovkin. You know, we don't know what Golovkin is going to do. So I appreciate him going on TV and talking about it, but as far as promising, he's not into a position to promise anything like that. Let's not kid.
What do you mean by that? Are you questioning the willingness of Golovkin to get in the ring with Canelo?
No. I'm just saying from his side, he can't. It's two sides to this dance. Oscar can't promise that the fight is going to happen. He doesn't control both sides. Unlike Thurman and Danny Garcia, Al Heyman could say, yeah, the fight is going to happen because both of those guys are in his camp. The money might not be right for Golovkin. Golovkin may say, fuck that, I ain't fighting for 10 mil. I want more. Oscar may say, well, I ain't going to pay you more.
That is true because Oscar has been saying he has to sign. He has to sign. So there is going to be something. It's going to be some Triple G, Daniel Jacobs negotiation going down where the A side is pinning down the B side. Well,
Milkman, at least from my perspective, at least what I've seen in the negotiations, that this is the first time that at least Oscar has said on camera that fight will be at 160. And I think that this is the big, because remember when he was offering him the $10 million flat rate, it was not 100% confirmed that fight was at 160. And I think that has always been Golovkin's stance to fight at 160. And I don't think it's Golovkin trying to play hard. I just think it's how boxing and the rules should be. I'm consistent with that. I hate fucking catchweights. They're bullshit.
Agreed.
Hey, I can dig it. And real quick before my time runs out, Spence should go for the belt, the IBF belt. Right now, the belt will do more for him in the long run. If he fights Bradley, it's just a name. We don't know what
just the name. First
Bradley.
of all,
people are harsh on Bradley.
You're on the wrong show with that, Milkman, and you killed yourself by saying just a name. Come on, man. He's way more than just a name. A better name than probably anyone in the entire welterweight division, not named Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather, have faced.
He could still be the second best welterweight on earth.
Yeah,
currently boxing.
Because Floyd is out. I mean, it's Pacquiao then Bradley. I mean, it's Pacquiao then Bradley. It doesn't matter what you may think if he's on a down. Pacquiao, Bradley.
Said he could. I'm not saying for sure. I'm just saying he could.
Okay, so who could you put in between Pacquiao and Bradley?
Well, I mean, based on what? I mean, based on how I think they would match up against each other. I told you that I think that
eye test doesn't count when we're talking.
Well, as far as resume goes,
right now,
he's leaps and bounds above the next guy for resume, and it's inarguable. And it's also,
look at what you did, Milkman. We're talking Canelo. We're talking the fact that Oscar finally confirmed we're fighting at 160. If this Canelo Golovkin fight is going to happen, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about First Take, Stephen A. Smith, and Max Kellerman.
Well, Milkman shouldn't have come with that disrespect, so I blame Milkman.
I know, Milkman disrespecting Bradley, just a name. We're going back to the editor, hard at work. Matthew Hunter, talk to us.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Hard at work, brother, just like you. So what's the deal? What's going on? What's on your mind?
Well, I haven't really been listening to the show. So what are you guys talking about?
The ESPN First Take interview with Oscar and Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman.
It's just like, okay, here's the deal. Can we all realize that like the Kovalev Ward situation contract deal is now like the norm in boxing? Like we had Anthony Joshua take an interim fight when the deal was already signed, allegedly, with Vladimir Klitschko. Now we're having Triple G and Canelo taking interim fights when there's an alleged deal in place, maybe. You know, I don't know. I just think that like that's become the norm in boxing, and we shouldn't accept that because all that does is disrespect the interim opponents in between these bouts. Like Eric Molina got disrespected because Vladimir Klitschko and Anthony Joshua pretty much already had a deal for April. You know, they just announced it after the fight to make it official.
No. The boxing was built on that. Eric Molina didn't get disrespected. He disrespected himself by going in there and fucking, you know, doing whatever he did, turning his back at the very least. He could have threw a monkey wrench in all those plans. He could have been the one fighting Vladimir Klitschko if he'd have won. So he got his chance.
I mean, Matt, you remember, of course, the Victor Ortiz potential fight against Canelo, and why didn't that happen? Because Josito Lopez showed up and broke his jaw.
True,
exactly.
But I'm not talking about the performance of like an Eric Molina or Sullivan Barrera or an Alexander Brand or Isaac Chalemba. I'm not talking about the individual performances. I'm just talking how it's become normal. It's become normalized in our community that we have top level boxers taking interim bouts against still top 15 guys. But we just assume it's a wash because they already have a deal in place.
So they say it's a tune-up fight or an in-between fight, and
it's a wash because of the fight. We assume it's a wash because of the talent of the A side.
But I see where Matt's coming from. It could be seen. I see it sometimes, especially with like a fight that like a dude who shouldn't have been in the ring with like Danny Garcia or a dude who shouldn't have been in the ring with Andre Ward. It's more like a financial cushion so that they are guaranteed another payday if it happen like. God forbid something happens to them in the big fight or something, you know, doesn't continue after that. So we're essentially paying or watching a fider's like I said, financial cushion.
We're watching their development the way that we will watch
development. What the fuck is Danny Garcia going to develop against Vargas?
No. Overall development, the same way that a franchise picks up a rookie of the year this year and you watch him fucking fumble a few times before he's the shit. Get out of here, bro. This is natural. This is normal.
Yeah, but these guys aren't rookies, you know. Andre Ward isn't a rookie.
What does it matter? These guys also don't have 18 other teammates to fucking take.
Because 100-1 favorite shouldn't be shown on network television, in my opinion. Some people like it, but
those are team sports. This is solo sport. These guys need in between fights like this, man. You can't always fight top tier fighters.
Okay. So Matt, like I'm trying to see your point in the relevance of this conversation, right? Are you saying that it's because but I disagree because not only are they talking about 2 fights before the Golovkin Canelo fight, this fight is by no means has a deal done, like you said, with the norm, which is the Ward Kovalev fight. I mean, that fight was done and through the network and through the same network because they both are fighting.
Yeah, but at least Oscar has been, I guess, consistent with 2017 September.
Yeah, but he has to flirt the idea that Golovkin is the next big guy to silence the people like me who are criticizing Canelo.
Well, that's why I asked you in the beginning of the show. Did you believe his promise?
I don't believe anything that comes out of Oscar's face.
There you go. Matt, wrap it up.
The promoter. You can't believe anything promoters say. You guys have a great show and get to other callers. I'm just doing other work.
All right, brother.
Thanks, Matt, for calling.
Thanks for calling. We got some alumni here, ladies and gentlemen. So hold tight.
Don't even respect your ass. That's why it's time for the doctor to check your ass, nigga.
Yo, what's going on, gentlemen? Fight Doctor in the house on Rick James status as always.
Fight Doctor, what's up? Were you proud of Stephen A. Smith digging into Oscar De La Hoya on First Take in front of millions?
Well, I mean, basically, it was one cross-dresser, questioning another cross-dresser. So I wasn't impressed, to be completely honest with you, okay?
Who's the other cross-dresser?
All impressed, all right? You say what?
Who's the other cross-dresser?
Stephen A. Smith. Both of them are cross-dressers as far as I'm concerned, okay? Stephen A. Smith looks like a cross-dresser.
Keep
He
it
sounds like a
clean.
cross-dresser, and he doesn't know shit about boxing, just like a cross-dresser, okay? So, Stephen A. Smith. So, no, I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed at all, okay? And look, at the end of the day, there's a deal on the table for Golovkin to fight Alvarez, $10 million, and for whatever reason, the Golovkin camp, they want to just sit on their thumbs and not accept the offer. Look, it is by far.
Have you seen the deal?
So why don't they just accept
Is the
it?
deal still on the table, Fight Doctor? It was rumored before. Again, it was not established that the fight was at 160. But you could continue with that misinformation.
Oh, wait. What are you talking about misinformation? Okay, it's been confirmed that the deal was for $10 million.
You said it's on the table. You said it was on the table. You use present tense.
For one second, can you for 1 second just take your mouth from around Golovkin's nutsack, please? Okay, and let's deal with the facts. $10 million at 160 pounds plus a upside of the pay-per-view. This has already been established and confirmed. So what's the problem?
I just fucking told you what the problem was. That rumor. 1 second, Fight Doctor. Listen to facts. Facts are that is not currently on the table because Canelo's trying to make other fights right now. And the other fact is that there was no confirmation that fight was happening at 160. That's a fact. So you can continue.
No, that is not a fact. What are you talking about? Okay, we've already heard from the Golden Boy side that it was the fight was offered $10 million at 160 pounds.
He just said it. He just said in the future that Canelo. It took Max Kellerman to press him.
The side has refuted the offer. So what are you talking about?
It took Max Kellerman to press him for him to confirm that.
Who cares what it took Max Kellerman to do to confirm whatever? The Golovkin side didn't deny it. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Okay, listen. At the end of the day, they got their biggest payday at their weight, and they said no, or they haven't said yes, which is the same as saying no. So my question to you and every other nut-hugging Golovkin fan is why? Why? I don't understand. It's the fight you want, your biggest payday, twice your biggest payday, and you don't want the fight. I don't know. What's the problem?
Well, I mean, you say points on the pay-per-view like you know or can tell the listeners what type of points you're talking about, first off. Secondly, you act like I don't want to see that fight. It's ridiculous. Like, you come with such hatred. I don't get it. But continue.
Well, I can tell you who doesn't want to see the fight. Golovkin's promotion company, his management, they don't want to see the fight because if they wanted to see the fight.
Do you really believe Ness, let him answer this. Do you really think that Golovkin's promotion team doesn't want the Canelo fight? Are you saying that right now on the Boxing Voice?
Well, he won't be able to say it because there's only one round per fighter, my friend. One round.
I know. I just don't see the logic, but I mean, somebody maybe could find this.
Doctor, come back at 7 p.m. We'll be back to talk a lot more boxing. We're going to 908. I mean, talk to us, brother.
Yo, that fight between Canelo and Golovkin, it has to be the way it's been. I think you guys pointed out great examples. You even got, it took a while for Douglas and Tyson. That's why it never happened. Because, for Holyfield and Tyson was supposed to happen because Buster Douglas was supposed to be a walkthrough. So you got it since the beginning of boxing.
And then he went to prison, unfortunately. There's other factors.
Between happened. What's up, MD?
I'm saying then Mike Tyson also went to prison, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, but just the idea that interim fight shouldn't happen. I mean, I don't know what Matt was on, man, but he probably needs to go have some tea, shit. You know what I mean? Go sit down. But look, Canelo and Chavez Jr. is not a bad fight either. I mean, I think y'all floated that out there earlier. I think that's a pretty good fight. Listen, in terms of just watching a slugfest. I'm not talking about the quality of opponent because, I mean, Chavez Jr. is not even a name to add to your resume. But I would like to see what Canelo does against a bigger guy, a naturally bigger guy.
Well, I will give my full take on that later because that is something we're talking about later. This is more like the Stephen A. We're more looking for your, your
thoughts on the Stephen A. Smith video. The first take edition.
But I hear what you're saying. It makes sense.
Well, no, I think first and foremost for them to have that on First Take is a great look for boxing. I don't believe anything that Oscar ever says. So I looked at it. I said, who can Oscar guarantee is going to fight? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And I think Canelo probably wants to take every fight that is offered, but whoever is his management, he had a legal issue where that small promotional company just wants some big bread because of the way Golden Boy breached the contract. So I don't know who the hell is making decisions over there, but if it's Oscar, then Canelo's screwed.
Well, I mean, let me get to some other callers, brother. Don't forget to come back at 7 p.m. That's just another half an hour away. Too Tough from Brooklyn. Talk to us.
Yo, check this out. The Stephen A. thing. First thing, I'm glad that First Take talking about boxing. They talked about boxing again today with Mayweather and Conor. But anyway, Oscar, Canelo was going to have to fight him at 160 anyway in September if he's going to do some Chavez thing in May at 164. So 160 is a given. It's not going to be no catch weight or anything like that, especially if he fights Chavez in May.
Well, that's not necessarily true because Cotto moved up to one. How high did Cotto move to Canelo?
Well, I think, wasn't it for Martinez? He got to like 157.
Yeah, 157. Yeah,
it was 157, 158, and that's what it was. I think Canelo was like 156 or something.
155, I think, actually. But then, and now he's moving back down to 153. So I hear what you're saying, but crazier stuff does happen in the sport of boxing. You just look at Cotto.
Like he can't use that excuse of I'm not a true middleweight or I can't fight at middleweight yet if he goes and fight Chavez at 164. Plus, Stephen A. does that thing. I mean, I know he ain't all up on boxing, but when he got those people in the thing, he did that with Pacquiao at the end of that Pacquiao Vargas fight when he was at the post-fight thing at the end of the round when he was pressing Pacquiao. I was like, who do you want to fight? Who do you want to fight? Who do you want to fight? He kept saying it to Pacquiao. Pacquiao, of course, didn't say anything, but he was trying to press him to say Floyd. I want to fight Floyd. But Stephen A. does that, and being Max is on First Take, they're going to be talking about boxing a lot more. Stephen A. might be pressing these people when they go on these interviews for these answers, like say it so everybody can hear what you're saying, and you can't back down because you said it on ESPN. You didn't say it on somebody's camcorder or cell phone or something. You said it on ESPN in front of millions, so you can't back down. So I think it's going to happen in September.
It's definitely a different approach, and I like it than a lot of times that like people like Max Kellerman, they try to like lawyer around to get somebody to answer a question. Stephen A. Smith just ask them bluntly, and sometimes that's what it takes to get answers, and I like that. I like that from a commentator.
Yeah, right. Because like I said, the same way he did it at the end of the Pacquiao Vargas fight when he won, he went in the ring and he was like, you came back. Who you want to fight, blah, blah, blah. He said all of that, and he was like, say a name.
60 seconds.
Pacquiao didn't say it, but I like that part of Stephen A. He don't know nothing about boxing. He ain't that knowledgeable. Compared to Skip, he seemed like a genius, a Burt Sugar or something, but kills him every time. So
Skip Bayless has to be a troll because if he watches as much boxing as he claims he does, I mean, I just don't, he's gone as far as to say is like he would favor Conor McGregor against Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match. And one last thing about the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather, we can move on, is like people hate people talking about it, but you know what? It gets people like other random media websites like Joe Rogan, because they mention that because he's a UFC guy talking about boxing. It's a segue to get into, oh shit, did you see the Ward Kovalev fight? And anything of talking about boxing from other media sources and other people is good. So I'm for any talks like that.
You know what's also good? hitting that thumbs up button to show that you appreciate the hard work that me and MD doing around these parts, man. Hit that thumbs up button because you love the content. Hit that thumbs up button if you think that Canelo fighting Triple G in September is a sexy matchup and one that you want to see. We're going to get out to some other callers. We got D-Lo from Maryland. Talk to us.
Yo, what up? Yo, what up, everybody? What up, Boxing Voice? I guess I have more of a statement. I heard you say, Ness heard you say something about Stephen A. I guess Stephen A. not questioning Floyd as if Floyd ducked somebody. Like, what do you mean by that? Floyd never ducked anybody. Hello?
Brother, how old are you?
I'm 23.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man, this is a Canelo Golovkin show. And if you think Floyd didn't duck anybody, I could agree with you, but I know that there's listen to me. Hear what I'm telling you. Hear what I'm telling you. I can agree with you, but there is a big demographic of people out there who have a list of fighters that Floyd allegedly ducked.
And I think rather than just that, I think like when he fought fighters like Victor Ortiz, Guerrera, and a few other guys who are good, but just not the level of some other guys, I think, you know, people weren't necessarily happy in him fighting the best, which is the exact same thing that he would say that Liam Smith, Amir Khan, that was the very similar context.
And about the Stephen A. Smith and the Max Kellerman questioning, I thought it was good. You know, I really appreciate them talking about boxing because, you know, I feel like this sport, it really needs it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and I feel like why they didn't talk about why they talk about the Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev, even though that was a big fight. Like,
they've talked about that fight on that show before, for sure.
They talked about that fight.
Yeah, they talked about it, just not on that particular episode.
Okay, I could be wrong, but I appreciate what you guys are doing, man. Keep doing your work, and I'm definitely gonna tune in, and I'm gonna start call back at 7 p.m. because I'm a big fan of you guys, man. I love you guys, man. Keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you, D-Lo, man.
And D-Lo, watch the first Castillo fight again.
Yeah, hey D-Lo, and drop us a 5-star review, man. Those same words on iTunes would help tremendously. Let's get to the producer of the show, a young lady that booked you some phenomenal guests starting from today moving on.
I'm a motherfucking monster.
Woo! And I'm a motherfucking monster. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
What up, monster? What's going on?
I'm good, just really excited. So much shit has been going on. I can't even keep up. What the hell? So many shows, so many back and forth. It's just been amazing. Congratulations, man. It's a great week. You're having even a better day. I definitely am more shocked about the whole Terrence Crawford situation than anything else right now. So I probably want to get into that a little bit more later on after the interviews. Hopefully we could, have a successful interview today. So I'm really looking forward to them, and I'm really excited. So, definitely tune in.
You got Terrence Crawford.
Tell your boss, tell your coworker.
Monster, you got Terrence Crawford a call from jail?
No, I wish. That would be awesome, though. How exclusive would we be?
It would be the most exclusive, yeah.
I'm pretty sure. But hey, I could try. You never know. Maybe if I could get Brian McIntyre to take the phone to where he's being held. No, but it's gonna be a great show tonight, so I'm really excited. That's all I have to say. I actually have to go back and get ready. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye, monster. Hey, MD, you know that there's actually some footage. This is crazy, like where we are in this generation and cell phones and everything. There's a ton of footage of Terrence Crawford being hauled across the courthouse, and it's not even like through the back door. Normally when you're being arrested in court, you go in through the back. They took him like straight through the lobby, cell phone still in pocket. It was crazy. It was crazy.
I guess he's really not getting any preferential treatment.
There was an interview. I'm sorry. There was an interview, quick interview with his lawyer, who said they are putting an appeal in today, and they're hoping to get him out today. But I think that's going to happen.
And there's also because there's women who watch the show and whatever, and there's also a nickname I have for Canelo that I choose not to use, and you could think about it.
Yeah, whatever that means. Let's get out to 609. You're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this?
Well, it starts with a C, Ness. Come on.
Yo, it's Fish. It's Fish. South Jersey Fish, man. What's going on?
Fish, what up? What up?
What up? Yeah, I missed exactly what was said, but I heard shots was definitely fired with De La Hoya. Can you give me a quick recap?
Well, they put his back to the wall, and he was forced to say on ESPN in front of millions that the Canelo Triple G fight is going to happen in September. It is going to be at 160 pounds, and Canelo is moving up to 160 pounds as early as 2017.
All right, as early as February. Isn't he coming back in February?
He sure is.
And who's the opponent?
No word on an opponent for February, but stick around until 7 p.m. We're going to be talking about his opponent for May.
Okay. And
it might be Billy Joe Saunders at this point because
wow, that would be some ballsy shit to take on Billy Joe, having a pay-per-view fight already in the loom like that, especially off a damaged thumb.
That's another thing.
Fish, I got to put you on hold, Fish. You got a serious feedback right now. I don't know if you're trying out a new Bluetooth or a new speakerphone, but it ain't no good, my friend. No good. ET not calling your home with that. Let me know if you could get it all together before I cut you out completely.
I'm tight.
Oh,
I'm good. I'm good now.
He took himself off speaker, ladies and gentlemen. Ness has bionic ears.
The audio does not lie.
No, it's you know what it is. It's a custom Bluetooth that I called in and I usually talk to all the time. But right now, I must be acting up. But it ain't no
probably needs a little bit of charge.
But we've never have ever told callers not to call on Bluetooth ever.
We don't tell them that, but if your Bluetooth isn't charged, the connection.
I'm being sarcastic. You say that all the time, Ness.
Oh, okay.
It's probably running a little low. Well, what else did I miss real quick? Because I want to get my little 2 cents in. I just want to get my 2 cents in. What else am I missing?
Well, we're topical as hell this time around. Is Jess,
pretty much Oscar was also forced on camera to quote unquote guarantee the fight was going to happen later in 2017.
But I mean, I hope that it does happen. I'm rolling with sentiment, but I want to see. I want to see what happened with this whole Charlo situation. Is he going to really move up? Does he really want to move up, or is he just a big bully at 154, which is cool?
Bully?
No.
What happened with that?
But what is that? Well, okay,
bully in a good way.
But I hear what you're saying. But like, why would Charlo?
I necessarily mean. I think he's big. I don't want him to move up at 160. I want to see him stay at 154. But since he was talking about not really making the weight, I kind of want him to stay and just like basically bully him, because I was so surprised on how thick and how big he was. His lower body, his calves, with Julian. I'm like, damn. And Julian's a 154.
He's a big guy, yeah.
He's to make the weight, but this guy, he's a big, thick, strong guy. I like to see him stay at 54 if he can stay there. But and I think if he does stay at 54, he's going to be bullying a lot of the 54 pounders. That's just what I think.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't think he's necessarily a player to really fight Canelo anytime soon, because I don't think his name's big enough. And it seems like Canelo's looking to fight on pay-per-view, and he's also on the other side. He's a Heyman fighter, so those fights happen, but I don't think that this fight's big enough to make that right now, right?
Listen, all I'm going to say, if Canelo Alvarez takes the route of Fish and ends up fighting Billy Joe Saunders in February to then come back in May on a pay-per-view with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. at a catch weight of 164 or 65.
You haven't heard.
He's not a coward, and if
I'm saving my opinion about that fight soon, because
if he ends up fighting Triple G at the end of the year, I mean, that would be one of the most beautiful resumes compiled in 1 year from, anyone really in a long time. I mean, Billy Joe Saunders, then a super fight in Mexico in front of 100,000, then topping it off, knocking off the head of the monster of Gennady Golovkin in September. Oh, man, amazing, amazing. Listen, I'm your host, Nes GTO. We got to shut this one down because we're opening up our normal show, which is always...
Join us every Thursday and Sunday live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
So in 20 minutes, you're actually going to get our flagship show where we normally preview all fights and touch on headlines. So there are a lot of fights, hence the reason me and the good doctor decided to break down a couple of these big headline shows and give them to you individually to give those guys their proper attention, because later on we have a lot of fights to dissect. But I am your host, Nes GTO.
Well, Nes, as well as big guests.
Exactly. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at NesGTO. On our next show in 20 minutes, we will have four-time division champion Abner Mares and maybe Robert Garcia. He is training. We will see what's going on. But yes, if you're interested in listening to Abner Mares coming off the big win over Jesus Cuellar, tune around. I'm your host, Nes GTO. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at NesGTO, and the good doctor can be found.
You can find me at BoxingMD1. And, you guys continue to like this video and support, because we will continue doing this as long as you guys are here.
Remember to check us out on Patreon for more exclusive, never-before-seen TBV footage, and we'll be back.